Oke. Udah kelihatan belum layarnya?
Sudah,
guys. Oke, sudah ya. Besar dulu bentar.
You will hear two students, Jenna and Marco, discussing a business studies project they have to do. You now have 15 seconds to read questions 21 to 24.
Come on, Marco. We've got to get on and sort out this project for Professor Buckley.
Hang on. I want to make sure we've got all the information. Now, where are we?
Well, today we need to sort out exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to divide the work up.
Okay. How long have we got, by the way?
The end of term is April 6th, and he said to hand it in on week 8, so that's March 25th at the latest, because the beginning of that week is the 21st, so not long.
Right. Have you got the notes there?
Yes. He wants us to do a fairly small-scale study, like the last one, on whether or not businesses were offering more benefits to staff. And we've now got to look at the rise in older workers. It should be fairly straightforward.
Yeah, as long as we keep it small. Who's marking it?
I don't know. Sometimes he gets the PhD students to mark it for him.
Oh, actually, it just says here, a senior lecturer. I suppose it's too much for Professor Barclay to do them all.
Yeah. Anyway, how are we going to go about this?
Well, we have to decide how big we want it to be and who.
Yeah, but I think we must sort out a timetable for the project. Otherwise, nothing will get done.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
All right. I'll do it as soon as we finish here. Come on, Marco. We've got to get on and sort out this project for Professor Buckley.
Hang on. I want to make...
Teman-teman, gimana? Udah nemu jawabannya? Oke, so bisa jawab nomor 21, 22, 23, 24. Bisa tulis di chat box atau langsung aja stick up juga nggak apa-apa.
Miss, udah ada kelihatan.
Nggak apa-apa, nggak apa-apa.
Jawabannya.
Ini aku ya nggak apa-apa. Nomor 21 ada yang jawab, itu kan udah ada jawabannya nih. 25th of March. Ya, aduh, aku back deh. Nah, oke. Nomor 21 apa? Miss Winda ya tadi ya?
Iya, Miss. Udah lihat tuh jawabannya March 25, tapi
March.
March. Ya, tapi kalau sekali dengar kayaknya saya kurang.
Oh iya. Tadi itu kan nanyanya must complete their project by, ada kata by gitu kan, berarti kayak deadline gitu kan. Dan tadi dia bilang March 25th at the latest. Jadi memang disebutkan banyak tanggal. Tapi dia nyebutin March 25th at the latest. Jadinya terakhir dikumpulin tanggal itu gitu. Jadi 25 Maret. Oke, nomor 22 ada yang udah nemu jawabannya? 22. Ayo yang lain bisa speak up.
Tadi worker doang, Miss.
Worker. It should be older workers. Look at the rise of older worker. Tadi bilangnya. Older workers, sorry, ada S-nya. Tadi di kalimatnya. Jadi kan the increase gitu kan ya. We have to look at the rise. Kalau nggak salah dia nggak pakai increase tapi pakainya rise. The rise, ya, look at the rise of older workers. Kan increase sama rise sama aja kan. Jadi kata kuncinya ada di situ. Oke. Terus nomor 23. Ada yang bisa jawab? 23. Guys.
Senior lecturer.
A senior lecturer. Bukan lecture ya, tapi lecturer. Oke, bener ya. Karena tadi bilang just say here a senior lecturer. Jadi jawabannya a senior lecturer. Atau kalau mau jawab senior lecturer aja juga nggak apa-apa. Oke, good. Number 24.
Kalau PhD student gimana, Miss?
No, karena
Oh,
ini
no.
yang dimaksud ya assessed by. Jadi nanti dikoreksi atau
Koreksi.
dinilai siapa gitu kan. Oke. Terus nomor terakhir 24. 24.
Di jawaban sih timetable, tapi sebenarnya tadi nggak dapet.
Iya, harusnya timetable ya. Karena tadi si Jenna sama Marco sempat debat, terus kayak tiba-tiba dipotong. Terus dia bilang, we need to arrange timetable, or if we are not do that, we will gonna apa gitu. We must short out the timetable, or we will not gonna make it, kalau nggak salah. Dia bilang kayak gitu. Jadi, intinya adalah they agree they need a timetable for the project gitu. Oke, overall gimana teman-teman? Kesusahan nggak? Banyak salah atau gimana?
Banyak salah, Miss.
It's okay, masih
Ya,
banyak nih latihan soalnya. Kita latihan lagi. Oke. Nah. Share lagi, aku share di chat box juga. Jaga-jaga kalau ada yang mau copy juga nggak apa-apa.
Baru Rejoice Jejuros, terinspirasi dari Korean Jejuros dengan triple action, rambut lembut, segar, harum tak.
You will hear two students, called Hazel and Tom, talking about Hazel's media study. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Okay.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Tom, could I ask you for some advice, please?
Yes, of course. If you think I can help. What's it about?
It's my first media studies assignment, and I'm not sure how to go about it. You must have done it last year.
Is that the one comparing the coverage of a particular story in a range of newspapers?
That's right.
Oh, yes. I really enjoyed writing it.
So, what sort of things do I need to compare?
Well, there are several things. For example, there's the question of which page of the newspaper the item appears on.
You mean because there's a big difference between having it on the front page and the bottom of page 10, for instance?
Exactly. And that shows how important the editor thinks the story is. Then there's the size. How many column inches the story is given. How many columns it spreads over.
And I suppose that includes the headline.
It certainly does. It's all part of attracting the reader's attention.
What about graphics? Whether there's anything visual in addition to the text?
Yes, you need to consider those too, because they can have a big effect on the reader's understanding of the story. Sometimes a bigger effect than the text itself. Then you'll need to look at how the item is put together. What structure is it given? Bear in mind that not many people read beyond the first paragraph. So what has the journalist put at the beginning? And if, say, there are conflicting opinions about something, does one appear near the end where people probably won't read it?
And newspapers sometimes give wrong or misleading information, don't they? Either deliberately or by accident. Should I be looking at that too?
Yes, if you can. Compare what's in different versions. And as far as possible, try and work out what's true and what isn't. And that relates to a very important point. What's the writer's purpose? Or at least the most important one, if they have several. It may seem to be to inform the public, but often it's that they want to create fear or controversy, or to make somebody look ridiculous.
Gosh, I see what you mean. And I suppose the writer may make assumptions about the reader.
That's right. About their knowledge of the subject, their attitudes, and their level of education, which means writing so that the readers understand without feeling patronised. All of that will make a difference to how the story is presented.
Okay.
Tom, could I ask you for some advice, please? It's my first media studies.
Oke, teman-teman. Ada yang udah tahu jawabannya, bisa langsung ditulis atau bisa langsung speak up. Halo?
Page, Miss, 21.
Oke, page. Benar ya. Page, Miss Sana, bukan front page. Karena tadi ada ngebahas juga selain front, kan? Jadi jawabannya adalah page. Oke, terus number 22. Size, right. Tadi dia bilang, so that suppose include headline, bla 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 bla, ya kan? Bagian situ tadi. Terus 23rd.
Graphic visual.
Graphics, benar. Pakai S ya, ada graphics tadi. Bukan hanya grafik aja. Oke, next. Structure. Ya, benar ya. Good. Structure. Terus? 25.
Purpose.
Good. Purpose. Oke. 26. Assumption. Tapi harus pakai. Oh, enggak. Bisa pakai S, bisa enggak pakai. Assumption. Atau assumptions juga bisa. Both are okay. Oke, overall gimana untuk yang soal ini?
Kak, izin bertanya, nomor 22 itu size without S karena itu the item ya? Atau gimana ya untuk menentukan ada S-nya dan tidak S-nya?
The size, oh karena tadi di speakernya bilangnya size aja, bukan sizes. Ya. Oke, jadi S atau IS-nya itu, selain dari grammar, kita juga bisa lihat, bisa dengarkan dari audionya. Tapi biasanya antara soal dengan audio pasti akan sesuai. Jadi kalau misal audionya itu dia pakai S atau IS, pasti nanti di soalnya juga seperti itu gitu.
Kak, kalau any pasti S ya, any graphics gitu ya? Any.
It should be, karena kan kalau dari grammar seperti itu ya. Oke, bisa kita lanjut lagi ya ke soal-soal yang berikutnya. Ada yang mau ditanyakan lagi, teman-teman?
Assignment, and I'm not sure how to go about it. You must have done it last year.
Is that the one comparing the coverage of a particular story in a range of newspapers?
That's right.
Oke, aku kirim lagi linknya, teman-teman bisa copy juga. Oke, wait, masih loading.
You will hear a tourist information officer explaining local walks to visitors.
Oh, ini kayaknya salah deh. Map. Should be sentence completion. Bentar ya. Yang di chat box sudah
You will
benar, Pak.
hear an announcement
Nah.
about a wildlife project in Scotland. Look at the task, then listen and answer questions 1 to 4.
The Scottish Beaver Trial is a unique and exciting 21st century conservation project. It is the first official project of its kind in Britain and a groundbreaking study to explore how beavers can enhance and restore natural environments. Wild beavers have been reintroduced back into Scotland after being extinct for centuries. Beavers are a native species to the UK, hunted to extinction in the 16th century. So why have these animals been reintroduced? One reason is that beavers are known as a keynote species. This is because they create ponds by building dams, which can help to improve water quality, something which has wide benefits for the local environment. The beavers were released into Knapdale Forest in Scotland in 2009. They have since been busy settling into their new home, building lodges and nurturing newborn family members. 4 beaver families have now been reintroduced, and visitors are welcome to explore this beautiful woodland and spot the signs of beaver activity. The trial will continue for 5 years. Throughout the trial, to assess the effect beavers have on the local environment, a scientific monitoring program will be carried out. The results of the trial will help decide the future of beavers in Scotland.
Oke, teman-teman. Udah nemu jawabannya? Halo? Bisa langsung ditulis atau langsung speak up aja juga nggak apa-apa. Nomor 1.
16, bukan
16. Ya, benar ya, 16. Bisa pakai angka, bisa juga pakai spelling. Karena tadi ada number or words, ya kan? Jadi 16 sama atau 16 kayak SIXTEENTH itu juga nggak apa-apa. Atau 16 terus ada TH-nya karena tahun kan, jadi harus ada kayak THNDST kayak gitu-gitu. Oke, good. Terus nomor 2. Nomor 2. Ponds. Oke, ada jawaban yang lain. It should be water quality. Ya, bukan ponds. Tapi memang ada tadi ponds and built by producing dams, bla 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 bla. Terus they make better quality water quality better. Beavers are regarded as a keynote species. Okay, number 3. Number 3. Ada yang tahu jawabannya? Nomor 3. Teman-teman, Mr. Bobby, Miss Dina, Miss Ica, Miss Ina, Miss Wiley, Mr. Regalino, Miss Ulfa, Miss Widi, Miss Winda, Miss Amal. No one? It should be 4. A total of 4. Bisa 4 angka atau spelling juga bisa FOUR. Oke. Terus nomor 4. Ada yang nemu nomor 4? Halo, nomor 4. Nomor 4. Okay. So it should be monitoring program. What's called monitoring program will tell scientists how it first affect the local environment. Tadi ada nyebut scientist gitu di situ. Oke, nah ini benar ya, Miss Ulfa. Monitoring program. Nah, tulisannya boleh program seperti ini atau program. Jadi kalau British kayak yang saya tulis ini, kalau American kayak yang ditulis Miss Ulfa di bagian chat box. Oke, good, thank you. Overall gimana teman-teman? Susah?
Susah.
Oke, challenging ya.
How beavers can enhance and restore natural environments.
Kita coba lagi.
Wild beavers have been reintroduced back.
Kita coba lagi soal yang lainnya, masih ada banyak.
Miss mau nanya boleh?
Iya boleh, kenapa?
Kalau complete sentence gini tuh kok rasanya kayak challenging banget ya, Miss?
Iya.
Biar lebih terasa, lebih mudah buat dipelajari itu gimana? Emang praktis terus gitu ya?
Ya, praktis terus. Dan sebenarnya highlighting, kita harus baca dulu sih. Tadi kan belum sempat baca ya. Nanti aku kasih waktu sebentar buat baca dulu semua soalnya. Terus kayak teman-teman harus keep in mind gitu. Paling nggak scanning. Oh, ini yang ditanyain. Dan ini keywords-nya gitu. Jadi pas nanti di audio itu bisa kekejar. Oh, keywords-nya yang ini gitu. Kita coba lagi ya, Miss ya. Memang harus kuncinya adalah practice. Both reading and listening kuncinya adalah practice. Kayak seberapa besar pun teorinya, kalau nggak practice juga kita nggak akan terbiasa.
You will hear some students talking about an assignment. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Anne.
What have you been doing?
Oh, just sitting around, catching up with some reading.
I've had a great time.
Oke, teman-teman bisa baca dulu. Terus nanti kita baru mulai. Oke, kita mulai ya.
So questions 21 to 25.
Hello, Tom.
Hello,
What are
Anne.
you doing?
Oh, just sitting around, catching up with some reading.
I've had a great time. You know we're doing this assignment on...
Bentar. Sinyalnya jelek. Aku ulang lagi ya.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Anne.
What have you been doing?
Oh, just sitting around, catching up with some reading.
I've had a great time. You know we're doing this assignment on... What is it?
Museums, their costs and benefits.
That's right. Well, I've been to the Sandgate Museum. It was really good. These local museums are really interesting because they connect people with the history of one special place. We all know about kings and emperors and battles and wars, but local museums tell us about the everyday lives of ordinary people, and that's why they are so important.
Okay.
Tulisannya nggak kelihatan nih tadi.
Sure about that.
Iya.
I think they are.
Di bagian number 23. Aduh, nih. Sinyalnya jelek, guys. Maaf ya.
Miss, quality videonya di change, Miss.
Gimana?
Quality videonya. Ya.
Oke.
Yang ke 720 maybe.
Oke. Wait. Oke, good. Kita ulangi aja ya dari awal ya. Okay, sorry for the distraction.
21 to 25.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Anne.
What have you been doing?
Oh, just sitting around, catching up with some reading.
I've had a great time. You know we're doing this assignment on... What is it?
Museums, their costs and benefits.
That's right. Well, I've been to the Sandgate Museum. It was really good. These local museums are really interesting because they connect people with the history of one special place. We all know about kings and emperors and battles and wars, but local museums tell us about the everyday lives of ordinary people, and that's why they are so important.
I'm not so sure about that. I think they are of interest, but they're so small that they can't give a true picture. They do their best.
I don't really agree. They do give a true picture, but perhaps not a full picture. It's the truth, but not the whole truth.
I think the smallness is the #1 problem. Because they're small and local, they attract few visitors. That's why they have so little money. And because they have little money, they can't buy or maintain many really interesting exhibits. As a result, the shop is almost as big as the museum to try to raise money by selling souvenirs, postcards, sweets and so on.
I think they find it difficult, but not impossible. And don't forget, they get a lot of their exhibits free from local people. There was this boat, for example, that was fantastic.
Really? What was that?
There was a massive fishing boat, a real one, about 100 years old, and you could walk on it and get the feeling of what fishing in those days was really like.
Sounds quite good. But I've always found that these kinds of museums are a bit dingy. For example, the display cabinets are so dark that you can hardly see the exhibits, and the labels are sometimes difficult to read.
Now answer questions 26 to 30.
So coming back to our assignment, what we've got to decide is whether these museums should be funded by the government or just by local people.
I think it depends entirely on what...
Ada yang mau jawabannya. Okay. Mr. Bobby, the cost and benefit. Okay. Benar ya. Yang nomor pertama itu, I think you should put as cost and benefits. Di bagian cost and benefits. Oke. Ada S-nya ya di bagian belakangnya. Terus nomor 2, small. Ya, benar ya, Miss Ulfa, small. Dia tuh ada bilang, I think the smallness is the biggest problem. Di situ tadi dia bilang. Terus nomor 23, rice money. Iya, tapi rice money tulisannya RAIS, Mr. hari, bukan RISE. Kalau RISE itu terbit. Kalau rise itu kayak menaikkan, rising atau mendapatkan uang. Rise money aja, bukan rising money ya, Mr. Regalino. Rise money, karena tadi bilangnya rise money, bukan rising money. Oke, coba kita lihat. Ada kata to. Nah, biasanya kalau to ini dibarengi dengan verb one. Jadinya rise money, bukan rising money. Oke. Good. Nomor 24. $100. Oke, betul. 100 ya. Oke. Terus, tadi dia bilang 100. It was 100 years old. Gitu. Oke. Terus nomor 25. Exhibit. No. Can you guess another? Yeah, display cabinets. But it should be using S in the end. Display cabinets. Mr. Hari dan juga Mr. Amal. Cabinets. Karena dia bilangnya display cabinets. Nah, salah S aja itu kita akan salah. Jadi teman-teman harus hati-hati gitu ya. Terutama S dan IS sih, karena sometimes itu yang susah di bagian situ, S, IS, kadang kita kecolongan. Dan juga selain S, IS, ada articles kayak the, kayak gitu-gitu. Atau auxiliaries kayak is, were, kayak gitu-gitu. Itu juga penting. Oke, overall gimana teman-teman buat yang ini, yang soal-soal ini? Lumayan ya daripada yang sebelumnya. Banyak salah atau banyak benar? Ayo speak up, guys.
Banyak
Salah
benar.
satu.
Salah satu. Oke, banyak yang benar ya berarti. Oke, good. Kita lanjut ya ke soal-soal berikutnya.
You can hardly see the exhibits.
Now answer questions 26 to 30.
Bisa baca dulu. Questionnya. Nanti kita jawab. Oke, kita mulai ya.
So coming back to our assignment, what we've got to decide is whether these museums should be funded by the government or just by local people.
I think it depends entirely on what kind of museum it is.
How do you mean?
Well, take local history museums. They are small, so they won't survive without financial support. But that should come from the local authority, since only people in that area or tourists will visit it.
I agree, but what about big natural history museums? Surely they should get money from the central government.
Why? Children who want to learn about nature can go out into the countryside with their school teachers. They could survive from donations, and they get loads of visitors anyway. The state should spend more on science museums, since not enough people are studying science these days.
I'm not so sure. But I do think a sort of museum which should not get public funds is the craft museum.
Yes, like museums of cotton weaving.
Yeah, which are of interest to only a very small number of people, and they should pay for it.
I agree, but a working farm is a different thing again. That's something from the past of all of us, and so it's important to the local community. Kids can learn a lot too. That's the sort of thing that the local government should be spending its money on.
Yes, I agree. Well, I think we've got plenty of ideas for our assignment.
Oke. Udah ada yang nunggu jawabannya? Oke, Miss Ulfa. B, C, A, B. Oke, kita bahas satu. B, ya benar. Local History Museum. Jawabannya adalah local government. Kenapa, Miss Ulfa? Kenapa jawabannya B tadi?
Tadi di-mention sama si cowoknya gitu.
Iya ya, ada lokal tapi bilangnya bukan local government, tapi bilangnya local authority. Jadi ada kata-kata local authority. Oke, good.
Boleh
Nomor
tolong di-spell atau ditulis, Miss, tulisan kalimat dari si cowoknya tadi gimana?
local authority. Nih, aku highlight aja. Tunggu. Authority. Authority itu sama kayak government, sinonim. Jadi ini keywords-nya. Keywords-nya dari jawabannya adalah local authority. Karena memang sering ya di both in listening sama reading itu mereka sering memakai sinonim dan sometimes sinonimnya itu adalah jawabannya. Jadi teman-teman harus memperbanyak kosakata. Oke, nomor 27. 27. Ada yang mau jawab? 27? Masa Miss Ulfa lagi? Oke, 27. Si, ya. Kenapa Mr. Bobby? Kenapa sih?
I don't know ya, by turis kali ada dengar apa ini ya? Saya lupa juga alasannya. Lupa tadi.
Jadi sebenarnya adalah dari donation. Dia bilangnya kan ada private funding. Many school students kayak banyak yang kayak pariwisata gitu kan, anak-anak sekolah, and I think the donation from them is enough to maintain the museum, the Natural History Museum gitu. Jadi ada kata donation. Kalau donation itu kan berarti dari orang-orang gitu kan. Berarti itu berasal dari private funding gitu. Jadi kayak lebih ke bukan dari pemerintah, bukan dari suatu institution, dari negara gitu, tapi lebih dari orang-orang. Jadi private funding. Donation kata kuncinya. Oke, nomor 28. Ada yang mau jawab? 28. A. Oke, kenapa Mr. Regal? Kenapa A?
Karena tadi kan ada bilang kayak apa, sepi banget gitu. Keyword terus habis itu kayak state harus buang uang ke sana gitu.
Ya, benar. Jadi ada kata state juga ya di situ. By the state should bring their money. Oke. Oke, thank you Mr. Regal. Sekarang nomor 29. 29. Ada yang mau jawab? 29? Halo. Halo guys. 29. Bisa speak up? Ya udah, Miss Ulfa lagi. Kenapa A, Miss Ulfa?
Apa tadi? Kayaknya juga mirip sama yang 28. Maaf, Miss. Cuma konsen pas tadi dengerin.
Oke, apa-apa. Jadi tadi dia bilangnya si ceweknya tuh bilang, I think for the craft museum, apa ya tadi? Banyak turis yang datang, bla 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 bla. Terus and they should pay for it gitu. Jadi if I'm mistaken kayak pay for the ticket atau apa gitu ya buat masuk si museumnya itu. Jadi ada turis, ada banyak orang. Jadi dari private funding, yaitu dari pengunjungnya itu sendiri, gitu, dari visitorsnya. Oke, number
29 C ya, Miss?
Iya, C. Jawabannya C, bukan B. Bukan A. Tadi Miss Ulfa jawabnya A ya. Oke, number 30. Ada yang mau jawab? 30 apa?
I think A, Miss.
A, why A?
Tadi ada state katanya concern to help.
Okay. So actually it should be B karena tadi ada bilang it's a bit blah 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 blah, and then that's why the local government should pay for it. Ada kata-kata local government gitu. Jadi ada alasannya sih. Cuman aku tadi masih miss alasannya itu apa? Related to working farms. Karena mungkin working farms itu bisa kayak meningkatkan lokal, kayak pendapatan lokal atau something. Terus dia bilang that's why local government should pay for it. Gitu. Okay. Ini overall gimana? Susah, gampang ya bagian ini? Oke ya, bagian ini ya. Salah berapa guys? Speak up guys.
Salah 2.
Salah 2. Salah 1. Salah 1. Oke, lumayan ya. Better and better. Oke, kita latihan soal yang lain lagi. Wait.
Listen carefully and answer questions 21.
Oke, aku kirim di chat box lagi.
Police have arrested and are questioning 2 members of the Animal Defense Group, the ADG.
Aku dulu quality-nya. Oh, udah paling tinggi, guys. Nah, ini 480. Nggak ada pilihannya, udah paling tinggi. Jadi bang agak blur. Apa ya? Oke, kita ulang lagi. Nah, ini dibaca dulu. Oke, cukup ya. Kita play.
Police have arrested and are questioning 2 members of the Animal Defense Group, the ADG. They are suspected of being involved in an attack on a medical research laboratory in Bristol last night. The laboratory was broken into and valuable equipment was destroyed. The attack is just the latest in a series of attacks on companies and science institutions which carry out experiments on animals in the pursuit of medical and scientific knowledge. But what drives people to take such extreme action to defend the rights of animals? I'm joined in the studio by Mick Davidson, who is also a member of the ADG and their spokesperson. Good morning.
Good morning.
How can you possibly justify the actions of your colleagues who broke into the medical research laboratory last night and caused such criminal damage?
Well, you say it's criminal damage, but using animals in experiments is a crime.
You mean destroying thousands of pounds worth of medical equipment that is used to help find cures for diseases, isn't a crime?
Yes, it is a crime in the eyes of the law. But the reason we destroy property relating to the abuse of animals is to make it really expensive for the firms to use animals in experiments. It costs a huge amount of money to set up research experiments. So if we can sabotage the experiments, the firms might think again. They might think it's too expensive to set up the experiment all over again.
I see. So you completely support this kind of direct action?
Absolutely. There are many things you can do to highlight the cause of animal suffering, and direct action is one of them. However, there are also completely peaceful ways of protesting. For example, I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat, fish, or anything that comes from animals, like milk or eggs. I don't wear leather shoes, and I don't buy anything that has been tested on animals. I also have a website, and I write articles for newspapers.
And have you yourself been involved in any types of illegal action?
Yes, I walked into a clothes shop in London and sprayed red paint over fur coats, and I've been involved in an attack on a laboratory.
What happened at the laboratory?
We broke in and looked for evidence of the animal cruelty involved. We took away video recordings. The evidence we found actually put a stop to the research in that particular laboratory because it wasn't being conducted in an acceptable way. There are rules to be obeyed, even for animal testing, and we found that the scientists were not following these rules.
I see. What else did you and your ADG colleagues do in the laboratory?
We freed the animals. We took them away with us, which wasn't easy because there were 30 of them, and we found good homes for them. And finally, we broke or damaged essential equipment to stop the testing for as long as possible.
But this sort of violence just gives the animal rights movement a bad name, doesn't it?
We don't agree with violence other than against property. Yes, we make life as difficult as possible for the scientists, but we do not aim to hurt them. Where people have been accidentally injured, we have apologised, as harming people is not our intention. There are some extreme activists out there, but we do not approve of violence against humans any more than we approve of violence against animals.
I'll have to stop you there, Mr. Davidson. Thank you for coming in. And now, with the time at 7:55, let's go over to the weather centre and see what the weather holds.
Oke, udah nemu jawabannya, teman-teman. Oke, nomor 1. Nomor 1.
Properti.
Equipment, ya benar ya.
Equipment.
Ya benar ya, equipment. Oke, good. Number 2. Crime. Oke, good. Tadi ada bilang ya. So, using animal in experiment is a crime, bla 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 bla. Terus tadi ditanggepin sama sama si reporternya, MC-nya ya, hostnya tadi bilang. Do you think destroying the medical equipment is not a crime? Gitu. Tadi ditimpalin gitu. Oke, terus number 3.
Money.
Need a lot of money. Okay, number 4.
And mistaken animals.
Made
Leather.
of leather. Kulit, ya. Okay, number 5. Number 5.
Article.
Benar ya. Articles, it should be articles actually. Ada S-nya di belakang. Newspaper publish articles that Mick Davidson has written. Okay, number 6. Recording itu nomor 7. Video recording.
Number 6.
Yeah, number 6. Number 6. Coats, ya, coats. Division damaged coats in a shop in London. Karena coats-nya itu terbuat dari hewan-hewan, gitu. Oke, nomor 7. Tadi ya, recordings, ada S-nya. Removed video recordings from a laboratory which helped in the research. Oke, number 8. Took 30, apa yang diambil? Of course, animals, ya kan? Karena ini concern-nya ke animal. Jadi, took 30 animals away with them. Oke, number 9. Number 9, guys. Ada yang mau jawabannya nomor 9? Oke, nomor 9 adalah violence atau kekerasan. Karena tadi ada ngebahas bukankah itu kekerasan gini. Terus si Davidson bilang, I don't agree that the use of violence except against property. Tadi ada kata except against property, like exactly tertulis seperti di soalnya ini. Ada kata-kata except against property. Jadi highlightnya di situ keywordnya. Oke, number 10.
No intention.
Apa?
I have no intention ya.
Oh.
Salah.
Oh, they have no intention. No. Jawabannya adalah injured atau hurt atau harm. Jadi boleh tiga-tiganya. Ya, Mr. Hari, injured. Ya, benar ya. Injured boleh, hurt juga boleh, harm juga boleh. Jadi ada 3 possible answer in here. Oke, good. Kita ada 1 soal lagi. Masih ada kan waktunya? Masih 6 menit. Oke, I think. Oke, ya.
Hei, kamu bisa bantu aku nggak? Kamu bisa ucapkan kata ini. And do.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the World.
Okay, wait. Quality-nya, aduh udah paling tinggi juga ini guys. Oke, kita baca dulu. Kita play. Itu nomor 5-nya ada double ya guys, jadi hati-hati di situ. Nanti takutnya ke skip. Jadi habis 5 ada yang sebelah kiri, ada yang sebelah kanan atas. Sebelah kanan atas sama sebelah bawah kiri itu sama. Oke, kita mulai.
World's greatest. This evening, we have in the studio a man with an overwhelming passion for, well, just about everything. Alec Gardner must be the world's most obsessive collector. He collects key rings, matchboxes, cartoon characters, beer mats, the free toys from cereal packets, cake decorations. You name it, he seems to collect it. So, let's meet Alec and find out why on earth he does it. Good evening, Alec. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
As you can imagine, the question on everybody's lips must be, why do you do it? What's the point?
Well, I don't think I'm mad. I think I'm quite normal, really. But to be honest, I'm not sure that I can answer that question, other than it gives me a lot of pleasure. I have been collecting since I was a small child.
Well, lots of children collect things.
Yes, but I suppose I've just never stopped. I was never bored as a child because there was always something new to collect. Then I had to organise and arrange them in my bedroom. I enjoyed that. I started with the small toys out of cereal packets, then football cards, toy cars, that sort of thing, and I've still got them. As I became older, I became interested in more things and started collecting them as well. The most pleasing thing is when I find the last object to complete a set of something. That's really satisfying. It's so great to know that you have got absolutely all of them.
So, what exactly have you got, and where do you put them?
Well, cartoon figures are my favourite because they're so cute and funny. I've got about 15,000 of them. Mickey Mouse has to be my all-time favourite cartoon character, and he's the oldest cartoon character as well, so there are more things to collect. I have about 6,000 little models of Mickey Mouse.
6,000?
Yep, just under 6,000 of Mickey alone, from all over the world. You'd be amazed where Mickey turns up. I have thousands of other cartoon characters too, especially Disney ones. That's my largest collection, simply because there are so many to collect.
And where are they?
All in my living room. The walls are covered with little shelves. I have 1,000 key rings as well, hanging on the walls. I have a lot of glass cabinets too. I've got 5,000 matchboxes in one of them, for example.
Wow! And how do you buy them?
Well, there are collectors' markets and little antique shops, of course. That was my main source before, but now I mostly buy on the net. eBay, for example. I'm a computer consultant anyway, so I seem to spend most of my life online in front of the computer these days, whether it's work or pleasure. Anyway, I don't like to leave the house for very long. Everything in there is precious, and I'm worried about burglaries.
And how much do you think you spend?
Oh, not sure. Not much. Well, not for each individual thing, anyway. I suppose I must have spent thousands and thousands of pounds over the years, although sometimes I have to spend a couple of £100 to complete a set of something.
A couple of £100 for a Disney model?
Well, yes, but it's worth it to me.
So, what's next?
I'm trying to buy the house next door. I need more space.
You'll be collecting the whole street next.
Oh, that's an idea.
Well, Alec, thank you very much for coming in to share your passion with us.
You're welcome.
Oke, udah ada yang nemu jawabannya? Collector, child, bedroom, satisfy, good, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, number 1. Alec isn't exactly sure. Karena tadi dia bilang, so I'm not sure since you give like a lot of pressure. Tadi dia ada bilang kayak gitu. Jadi, he's not sure why he collects things. Okay, number 2.
Small child.
Small child. Good. Number 3.
Bedroom.
His bedroom. Ada hisnya. Tadi karena dia tadi bilangnya in my bedroom. Jadinya he collected in his bedroom. Okay, number 4.
Satisfied.
A set of something. Not lost object, tapi set. Jadi satu set gitu ya, satu set dari object to collecting something. Okay, number 5.
Cute.
Cute. Okay. Number 6.
Oldest.
Oldest. Ya benar, tadi the oldest character that Disney have, kalau nggak salah. Number 7. Selves. Selves. Not boxes, but selves. Rak. Selves. Jadi rak. Ya, di rak. Jadi di living room, dan di living roomnya itu dia ada dilapisi. Tadi bilangnya gimana ya? Dilapisi kalau nggak salah. Dilapisi rak-rak gitu. Nah, raknya itu dibuat untuk naruh si action figure-nya ini. Gitu. Terus, next, number 8. Collectors market. Mr. Hari nggak usah pakai kolektor karena di situ udah ada collectors. Buy thing at collectors. Jadi market aja dan marketnya pun butuh S, markets. Jadi buy things at collectors market, for example, eBay. Gitu. Jadi eBay-nya Mr. Regal is the example. Gitu. Jadi dia mostly beli di collector market dan salah satunya adalah di eBay. Kan dia bisa ngejual di yang lain-lainnya kan. Amazon, Alibaba, and other else. Okay. Number 9.
Burglaries.
Yap, burglaries atau theft ya. Tapi jawabannya adalah burglaries aja. Sesuai dengan yang tadi dibilang. Burglaries. Gitu saya. Okay. Terus number 10. A couple of. Okay, good. Has about a couple of 100 pounds. Okay, good. Gimana untuk hari ini? Lumayan ya. Susah atau gampang, guys? Sentence completion. Quite challenging, right?
Daily mistake ya.
It's okay, nggak apa-apa. Kita bisa latihan terus-menerus nanti. Nanti pasti ada lagi latihan dari Mr. Egi juga dan dari tutor yang lain. Oke, at least kalau misal teman-teman merasa ini susah, berarti kita sudah find our weakness and berarti teman-teman harus fokus lagi di bagian sentence completion gitu karena this is my weakness and I have to improve in it. Gitu, at least we know. Okay, thank you for attending the class, today's class. And jangan lupa nanti jam 9 akan ada kelas reading sama Miss Irsa. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Miss Dita.
Thank you, Miss
Have
Dita.
a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you.
See you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.